Welcome, everybody. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, additions to the agenda. I have a couple tonight. One is a resolution to approve the application to the 2019 Municipal Planning Grant. We will add that under new business number 7.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to add the resolution to approve the application for the 2019 Municipal Planning Grant. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. And then the next one is an executive session with David Walker. And we are going to add that under department and committee reports.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to add an executive session with David Walker under department and committees. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to add?
No.
Okay. Great. I don't have any remarks. Open public comments, non-agenda items. Department and committee reports. This is where we're going to go into executive session. So if you
Some
could,
personnel.
yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move the board and administrator go into executive session with our road commissioner on the appointment or employment or evaluation of public officer or employee. 1 VSA 3133A3.
Second.
Moved and seconded to go into the executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Do we need to make a second motion? or we
Nope,
good?
only one for that.
Okay.
So the David and Michelle.
Mhm.
Yep. So we are in executive session. Went into executive session at 6:35, came out at 6:50, no action was taken. Approval of meeting minutes from the regular meeting of September 4th.
I did. You did. I'm sorry. I can't find it.
There, you want it?
Yeah.
Right there.
On the bottom.
Cents. 36S payroll, $7,765.07, and 37S payroll, $7,634.55.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the bills and warrants as read. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Cemetery deeds. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. Tim Arsenault, Town Clerk. We have just one cemetery deed tonight. As I found out, the fair deed could be done without the Select Board's intervention. We do have one for Godfrey, which is a no-dollar transfer to the town. The family is merely swapping one lot for another to reconfigure their lot. And again, thank you a lot to Sandy Harris for helping with writing the deeds.
You're welcome.
So I would ask for the board's approval for the Godfrey deed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the cemetery Godfrey deed. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Take one down, pass it around. While we're signing this, we'll just keep going. Returnable can bin, move to fire station or solicit other organizations. We had this discussion last year. We're talking about the 5-cent returnable bin that's in front of the town garage. The fire association takes care of getting the returnables done and emptied and they reap the benefit from it. Do we want to open that up to other organizations to reap the benefit, or do we want to leave it in the fire department's hands?
I think we offered it last year and nobody took it.
I think you're exactly correct.
So the fire department kept it.
Okay.
Um,
I don't really think we need a motion for that, but if everybody's happy with that decision,
Well, in addition, they would like to move it.
Yes.
oh,
Decide to leave it, then they would like to move it to the firehouse, so that
Makes more
it's
sense.
easier for them to.
okay.
Oh, I wonder if that's a good move in terms of another stop, but. that's
Well,
what
it'll
we
help
do.
us.
There's not much else down there anymore anyway.
No,
Well,
really.
composting and,
Yeah.
you know, so. I
Would that be beneficial to you guys, Dave, if that bin got out of there, easier to plow, or it doesn't really matter?
That bin isn't really bothering us.
Okay. So, doesn't matter whether we move it or not, I don't think.
See how
They want to
goes.
move it down there to make it easier.
Okay. Let's just make a motion to keep it with them and to move the bin, that way
Yep.
it's on the record, please.
I make a motion that we allow the fire department to continue to benefit from the cans and allow them to move the bin to the fire department.
Second.
Moved and seconded to allow the Vernon Volunteer Fire Department to maintain the returnable can bin and move it to the fire department. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Governor Hunt House discussion. So I was contacted by Vermont Yankee and kind of said that, you know, it's time for us to start getting a little bit more serious about what we're going to do with the Governor Hunt House as the sale hopefully is drawing to a close. So that's our discussion tonight is, and I know we've all discussed this before, and I know we've all thought about it while sitting at home at night, about what to do
I
with
can't
that.
sleep.
I don't blame you, I can't either. About what to do with that house, which is obviously very important and a significant part of our history in Vernon. Do we want to take it on as a town? Do we want to offer it to the village center? Do we want to offer it to the historians? What's the, you know, what is our direction that we want to give that I can pass along to our friends at Vermont Yankee?
I think we should take it on as a town. What do you think?
Well, have the other groups that you mentioned been approached in terms of what they feel about it?
We haven't really, because it hasn't really gotten serious, because the last time I spoke to somebody was probably last winter. I spoke with VY's attorney up in Montpelier. He had called me and said, hey, do you guys know what you want to do? And no big rush. And I said, I don't know what we want to do.
Yeah.
If there's no big rush, then let's just leave it. But now it's getting to the point where we need to, you know, kind of make a decision. Martin, do you have an input as far, I know you don't have your full board here or anything, but
Right, so this is a question that the Friends of Vernon Center have really not tackled. But what we have tackled together with the town is this current planning process that's going on the village center area to create a conceptual master plan for the village center. So, which includes the Hunt House. And as a matter of fact, at the last Wednesday's planning commission meeting, we had a phone call with the SE group folks, and one way or another, we got onto the topic of the Hunt House, which they knew what it was, of course, but they hadn't been in it, and they hadn't seen the inside of it. So, as a next step, we agreed that Patty is going to get some pictures taken on the inside. Actually, Mike McKinney is taking the pictures, and we will send those pictures up, so they get an idea of what that space is like, and can include it in the planning in terms of what it might be used for. So there will be some recommendations coming out of that. It also was discussed at the visioning session that we had a month or so ago at the school, and it's been discussed right along as being part of the village center. I think, and then I can't totally speak for the Friends on this, but I think that the Friends would be willing to be at least part of a study group, you know, that might look at that property and kind of come up with a feasibility plan. Because whether Entergy transfers it to the town or to the historians or to Friends of Vernon Center, to anybody else, you know, the receiving entity would want to know, okay, what does it cost to own that, to mow the grass and to keep the lights on and the heat on and general repairs and everything else. And they would like, certainly Friends would want to go through an exercise of figuring out, you know, what kind of activities would happen there, what kind of income could be generated from it and so forth, what kind of donations could be gathered or grants, you know, towards the support of that price. And I think that's really ought to be the next step here is some work towards a feasibility plan of taking that over. Maybe it turns out to be such a horror show that nobody wants it. Patty says it's haunted. But I suspect that the answer would be that, yeah, that, you know, consistent with whatever the conceptual master plan ends up recommending for that whole area, that, you know, that we'll come up with some kind of feasibility plan so that we're ready to take it on whenever Entergy wants to make that transfer.
That'd be great.
So would there be a possibility with the SE group, and forgive my ignorance on them, do they have the ability to do that feasibility study for that particular building? Or would we need to hire someone?
Well, I don't think we have to hire somebody, you know, I think we have enough talent around to figure that out, but it is outside the scope of work that the SE group was hired to do under the provisions of that agreement.
Sure.
So,
Okay. So, Chris, you have any thoughts on it?
No.
Jeff?
That building is one of the most historic buildings in this town, if not the most. We already need to maintain an aging infrastructure. This building, the rec center in particular. I'm not so sure. I mean, I want to preserve that building, but I'm not so sure if the town is. You got to at least break even on keeping the building up. And I don't know how to suggest it.
Yeah, and you can't really answer that question without some kind of feasibility study, because we don't know what it costs to keep that building or what it could potentially be used for. So I think that that's a very important key to this before you can make any kind of decision. You know, whatever is found out in that sort of study would benefit anyone that was interested
Sure.
and help make a decision.
Yep. I think it's going to be a significant expense to upkeep that building. And I think it's a significant utility expense. Just heating alone has got to be astronomical. And that's just common sense. It's not it doesn't take a feasibility study to understand that. And I think Jeff's right, where, you know, it's, if the town were to take it on, which I'm not suggesting and I would never suggest, that it would have to break even, and there's no feasibility study could tell you whether it's ever going to break even or not. But it is a place to start for us to understand what the expenses are within that building and what the revenue would have to be to break even.
We ought to be able to get some of the utility expenses,
Oh, yeah.
energy, is
Yep.
what they've been incurring.
Yep. So that will be, I guess that'll be my job, is I will do some data collection with Entergy and try to get some kind of understanding of what it's gonna cost us to maintain this building, what it has been costing them to maintain it. And then, you know, part of what the SE group is already doing is what we can do with stuff in town. And if they're looking at the Governor Hunt House, maybe they can give us some ideas of how to bring in revenue through that building, or how to incorporate it within the town center to try to bring in some revenue. So if that sounds good to everybody, I will pursue that with Entergy and try to get some information about what it costs to upkeep the building and go from there.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, Mark.
Starting
Could I suggest, I mean, I think it's fine that you get that information, but then could I suggest that we just meet as just an ad hoc group? You don't have to appoint anybody, but you and me and Patty and anybody else that wants to just sit down
Sure.
and see if we can put some numbers on an envelope and see what this really means.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I think we've started looking at this a little bit, but we didn't really dive hard into it because we thought we had time and we're running out of time. And I guess we probably should have started this months ago, but we didn't, so. You gotta give your name too.
We did have some pretty exciting discussions at the Planning Commission Wednesday about this facility. You know, we are actively looking for some place that can be a community-type center. Our vision is for it to be, the hall could be rented out, the conference room could be rented out for conferences, so there is a huge ability. And I will say, in all the years I've been involved with the town, there are many people over the years that have expressed the desire to someday own the Governor Hunt House. So I think it's something that we really need to take seriously. And it will be a vote of the town, I assume.
Yeah.
That's really kind of
Has
how
to
you
be.
have to handle it. So it is important, I think, that we do the feasibility study and get the numbers. But with SEC's help, we will have a really good idea about what we could do with that facility. So
Sure.
we may not have all the answers by town meeting, but we'll have enough, I hope, to be able to tell the townspeople, the taxpayers, what what it's going to be in the future.
Sure. Yep.
Do you think that Entergy will be patient until then?
I think so. I don't think I mean, what else are they gonna do with it? Really? So, it's not part of the North Star sale. It's still gonna be in their possession even after the North Star sale. I think they're just trying to get rid of liabilities in this area and get out completely. And if they have a fish on the line, they probably won't cut bait too quick. And we're the fish right now, so.
Well, I mean, obviously, if they no longer want to own it, they should be more than willing to be part of the process of finding a new owner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't think we'll have an issue at all of, them being upfront with us with utility costs and things like that. I don't foresee that being a problem at all. I see them being a partner in this process and going from there. And we may have, just as a side thought, we may have a built-in renter with North Star. And they may need additional space, office space and that kind of thing for their guys. Maybe we can work that into the deal and help us out for the first, handful of years that we own the building. Who knows? There's a lot that can go bad, a lot that can go good, and we won't know till we get into it. So, sounds good to me. All right, apply septic repairs to emergency repair replacement line item, $7,130.25. So we are basically essentially moving that repair cost to the emergency repair and replacement line item. Right now, it's sat in the buildings and maintenance line.
Right now, it's just in the, and we've gone way over our expense, which is not really an accurate description because it was a very unexpected hit by lightning.
It was an emergency repair and replacement.
But Sandy needs a motion to put anything in that line item, like Cindy does, the treasurer.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to move the septic repair expense of $7,130.25 to the emergency repair and replacement line. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Perfect. Town office floors. So as you walked in, you noticed like right at the select board door, floors changed color. We had, was it Masteller? Masteller came in and we're gonna strip and reseal the floor, and in 6 hours they got that corner done. Because there is such a large buildup of wax on the floors from never really being stripped. This seemingly small project of what it was, at $3,500 or something originally.
For both, no, I think it was less than that, it was like $1,500 for upstairs and downstairs.
Well, essentially they walked away from it and said, "We're out.
And
We're
I
not
will
doing
say
this."
They did call and apologize profusely, so they never walk away
Yes.
from the job, but it was so bad and above what they expected.
But didn't they come and check the job out before they decided to
They
take it on?
did, but there's no way to tell how much wax is on there until you start
stripping
stripping
it.
it. And they
Okay.
went
Stripping.
through just so many pads, and apparently the guys went back and forth to the shop to get even more industrial strength pads, and apparently that 6 hours of work with more than one guy was down.
Two guys.
So now we have a new estimate from them of $6,000.
About that, yeah. Let's see.
59?
5,900.
Yeah. So it,
That's for upstairs and downstairs, which is above and beyond what we can really take out of the building repair and maintenance line item for 1 year. He did say this project will take over a year to complete. It's that huge. He really didn't want to take the project on, but having started it, he said that he would.
Would he be firm on this price, or would he come back and change that
Yeah.
into?
Nope, that now that he knows that that's what it is, he said he'd have to re-quote it, and that's why they left, because he would lose so much money by doing the job.
so essentially the quote's quadrupled from what it originally was. Due to the condition, we can do the upstairs this year with our budget basically.
We can, yes, yeah, because that's what I was expecting, so I'm really looking for direction from the board, say, now
So
he
did the
said
price
there's
for the
no.
upstairs change too?
Yes, because he's assuming now it's all the same.
Okay.
And so I did ask him, what are the ramifications of not doing it? What if we just buff up the top again and put another, just keep doing that?
Can't open the doors, you know? So much wax.
He did say, so his comment was that eventually it will just continue to get more and more yellow,
Yeah.
faster and faster, and we'll have to replace the floor. We could probably get away with it for another 10 years or so, but
10 years is a long time.
it is, that's why I'm looking for direction. I mean, and you can tell the difference in color from what was stripped and what's not stripped. So it's really up to you where you want to go, because this is where we're at. Either we get it done right, or we just keep doing the whole resurfacing.
We do what we've always done.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah, I saw you wanting to say it. I saw it on your face.
You do that, put him right over the edge.
Is this the only company that,
This is,
We went
yes,
to?
because he walked out and didn't want to do it. I'm leery to have somebody to put it out to bid, because I'm afraid the same thing's gonna happen, that they're not gonna realize how much work this is and leave again. But we could do that if you want. Like you said, this will take a year to finish this project. So it's not like a one-time deal.
Oh, because there's several steps, or because they can only,
It's just
Well, it took them
much-
6 hours to do
so
like a
time-consuming.
20 by 15 square. So how many days does it take to get through this basement and then the upstairs at 6 hours of whack from a 20 by 15 square? It's,
With a crew of people, it wasn't just one
and it's
person.
not like we're the only job that they have, so they're gonna take us when they can, and it's gonna take a year. So, my suggestion, which, take it or leave it, don't care, is to do the upstairs, since it does get the most traffic and probably could use the help the most. And because this doesn't get a ton of traffic, we do it as we can, or plan for it in an upcoming budget year or two. That's my suggestion.
So that would be the hall and the kitchen.
And the front lobby.
In the front
On your-
lobby.
It does include
It does
that.
include the lobby.
Okay.
And we have enough for that.
That's
have
the
enough to
14,
do.
yes, because
Yeah.
that's what I was expecting closer to that for the whole
For the whole
thing.
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 We were thinking 15 for the whole thing. It's gonna be 15 just to do the upstairs. The bulk of the money is gonna be spent down here because it's the bulk of the floor. So,
And if we're really lucky, maybe the upstairs was done before and he'll adjust, but he's assuming with this price that everything's the same.
I think that's probably a fair assumption. I think that's a good idea, to do upstairs with the money we have right now, and then plan for the rest of the building next year. But it should definitely get done,
Right.
yep.
because there was an issue in the police department that I believe that the flooring was asbestos. So if
Mhm.
you get to the point
Correct.
of needing to replace these floors,
Yeah.
that's really bad news.
Yeah, when the police department flooded and we had to remove that flooring, it was asbestos removal, and we replaced it with that epoxy stuff.
Yeah,
The epoxy
So-
paint with chips in it.
we need to maybe try to keep this.
Yep. So if everybody's happy with that, let's make a motion to do that,
Yeah.
please.
I move that we have Mass Dollar do the upstairs floors in this budget, and plan for the rest of the building to be done in the next budget year.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to have Ms. Steller do the upstairs and plan downstairs for the future. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Scheduled town plan public hearing. So the planning commission already had their public hearing. We need to schedule our public hearing. It has been suggested to do it November 6th before our select board meeting, which is our normal select board meeting is at 6:30.
But the polls are open till 7.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot it's election day. How did I forget that?
I don't know.
Silly me. Let's do it the second meeting then. Can we wait that long?
You can wait as long as you like, because the grant's over, so there's no push.
Okay, so let's do the second meeting in November.
Is
It doesn't screw anybody up to wait,
The 20th.
right?
That's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, that's
Are you
2
here?
days before Thanksgiving.
It's okay.
Well,
I mean, you could do it on a totally separate day. Remember, you have budget meetings too.
Yeah, that's this
So you
budget meeting.
you could do it.
Is the budget meeting on,
7th.
we have it on the 7th, the budget meeting? Okay. So let's do that. Let's do that, 11/7 at 6 o'clock. And then we will resume our regular budget meeting at 6:30. Make sense?
But you need to make a motion to accept this, because I know you've all been carefully watching the evolution of the town plan
Yes.
online.
Riveting.
And we've given you copies, right? So the only changes that were made after the public hearing that the planning commission put on, I've given you.
You
I
have,
put on top of your copies of
This
the
here.
town plan.
oh, this,
This little one pager
Oh,
that
okay.
says for their contributions, blah, blah,
sides.
blah.
It's 2 sides.
okay.
Oh, look at that. That's fancy.
So what you need to do is accept this town plan to be presented at the public hearing that you are scheduling.
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
Moved and seconded to accept the town plan as approved at the planning commission's hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, those opposed? Very good. So everybody's good for November 7th at 6 o'clock for our hearing about the town plan, public hearing. Yes, yes?
Yep.
Bueller? Yes, okay, good.
I'll be there.
All right, resolution to approve the application to the 2019 Municipal Planning Grant. We just need to make a motion to approve that.
That we will be submitting an application,
Yep.
that I will be the grant manager, administrator, Josh is the alternate.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the resolution to approve the application of the 2019 Municipal Planning Grant. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed? Okay. Ratifying payment of current contracts pending renegotiation. So, do we have a motion for that one that was
Yes.
written?
It's in-
Can I?
Yep, this is just ratifying the conversation that we had at the last meeting.
It's something that we already did.
And city would like it more specifically
So
clarified.
I will do this just to make it easy because, I mean, we made the decision on my birthday, so I might as well make the motion. I move that we amend our decision of July 3rd, 2018 regarding the payment of risk exposure by contractors, making it effective following renegotiation of their current contract.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion I just read, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Perfect. Why am I signing this?
It's the resolution you just approved,
For the planning one or this one?
planning grant.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, why are we signing one for that one? But planning grant makes sense.
It's for the next one.
There you go. Okay. Here, I'm gonna give that to Michelle and she can write my motion down more clearly. So, Vernon Historians Lease. Where are we at with our friends, the historians, and their lease?
Well, I received a call from our attorney this afternoon, and following a call that they received from the historian's attorney. They had requested to absolutely rewrite the lease. They found the business language very unfriendly and would like to redo it and wanted our permission. I did say, based on all of our conversations, yes, it was perfectly fine as long as it fit all of the legal protections that we currently need and we currently have. So,
So they felt it was unfriendly?
yes,
And
that was
adversarial?
what the attorney said.
A lot of legal documents are like that.
That's kind of the point of legal document.
Yeah, to be
But
unfriendly.
that's okay, whatever.
So the historian's attorney is going to rewrite it. I did give our attorney permission, skip the middleman, just go straight to him. And if he approves of it, it'll come back to you all.
So here we are, still 3 months later, with no lease signed, and we're approaching their 50th anniversary, which was made very clear at the last meeting that if this was not taken care of, that they would not be doing that. So I'm just confused why we're still dragging this out. This started back in June.
So we have, I have that same question in my head.
And
It
again,
is-
nobody's here to represent them.
I did email Heather a couple of times last week, told her that she's back on the agenda, asked if she had something for us to look at tonight, but.
It kind of seems like we scrambled to talk to our attorney today, and then their attorney called our attorney, and because we knew the select board was having a meeting tonight. It's kind of what it sounds like to me. Please don't take offense to that, Vernon Historians, that's just what it seems like. So, we have a decision to make as far as their party in a week and a half. Whether we stick to our guns and don't allow them to have that party at that particular building. They're welcome to do it at the chapel. It's not like they can't have it. They just cannot have it there at the museum.
There was that other option.
I don't know.
You can approve signing the lease that they present upon approval by our attorney. But that would be you. That'd be kind of going on a limb because you don't know what it is yet.
Right, and there's nothing saying that we're gonna have that in time.
No,
They-
there
they-
isn't, but
They
if-
were told at the last meeting that there needed to be a decision by tonight, and I don't feel that we have been given one.
I just
Nope.
wanna make sure
And I
you have
appreciate
that.
what the historians do in town, and I don't feel comfortable saying that they can't have their party, but this has gone on for 3 months, and we have gotten nowhere with them. And then if we allow them to have their party, then they're closed for the rest of the year. So then this is all just gonna lie until next year when they wanna reopen. And I feel like we've kind of been jerked around as a select board by them. And they're not here. And that's been a pretty common occurrence when they're on the agenda, that there's nobody here to represent or answer questions. That's my feeling.
Jeff?
I can see Chris's point. I mean, you hate to be a party pooper, but this has dragged on long enough.
Okay. Sandy?
I'm ambivalent. I agree with Chris. It's dragged on way too long. But I do like the historians, you know, but this is,
But they can still hold it, they just can't hold it there.
yeah,
They can do it at the chapel.
wherever they've got insurance, I guess.
It's not like we're telling them they can't have it, we're just saying that they can't have it within that building that's owned by the town.
Well, that was the decision that was made at the last meeting, and it
Yeah.
has been difficult working with them between their board meetings, the
Mhm.
infrequency of that. You know, sometimes they even come because they haven't met and don't have a decision, but,
Yeah.
um,
We
They
gave pretty
were-
clear instructions last time.
we did, and where they're not totally out of having their event, that they can do it at the chapel, I guess we need to stay with what we had requested.
So I would suggest that the motion say something like the museum and the corresponding outbuilding will be closed to the general public until a lease agreement is reached. That's what that motion should sound like. I'm happy to make that motion too. There you go. The museum and its outbuilding is closed to the general public. I make a motion that the museum and its outbuilding is closed to the general public until a lease agreement has been reached.
Second.
Moved and seconded to close the museum and the outbuilding to the general public until a lease agreement has been reached. And they get a week and a half to do it, so if we can take a look at it and then take care of it then, great. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 I-
Those opposed? It's a crappy decision, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But we've done everything that we can possibly do on our end to keep it from happening, to keep from having to make this decision. So, noise ordinance. So you got a revised, thinner, wonderful noise ordinance in your packet. With cats, because I'm not letting go of the cats ever. I don't care what anybody says.
You have no heart.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. What about weasels? Should we include weasels in it too?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should.
Are they pets?
It can be.
Yeah.
My cousin had a ferret. It's kind of like a weasel.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so I'm sure everybody read this with great vigor and are ready to make changes or accept it as written.
I like that it's one page, I accept it as written.
Same here.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
short and sweet.
Are you making that motion?
I would.
I was waiting to see if anybody else had anything to say.
Can I make a friendly amendment?
Mhm.
That the sections be numbered in consecutive order.
You mean you don't like 3 to 7?
Oh.
Why not?
It seems like something was left out.
No, I get that feeling periodically.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
We just want them to
Otherwise,
know.
I'm happy.
It's the cat, it's the
Can I point
cat's
out one
fault.
thing, just so that everybody's aware?
Yes, please.
If fireworks are not done by 10 o'clock, that means that the town will be in violation of this ordinance.
They are,
Totally okay with that.
yeah.
Just something to keep.
So we'll pay the fine.
Who they gonna arrest if the town
I
fireworks
believe
are
that's you, Sir Chair.
Right.
happy? I'm happy to take the fall for the fireworks.
So I make a motion that we accept this with the changes to the numbering as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the noise ordinance as written, or excuse me, as corrected. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Wow, we passed the noise ordinance, guys.
So, oh, it's blank.
All right,
You're
public
gonna say-
participation, agenda items only. Larry, you got anything for us, Mr. Shippey?
I don't have any money.
Well, we take that from you every 3 payments, right? Three payments a year?
From my wife.
Oh, okay, all right. Opened up the worms. That's okay.
Yeah, 3 things. They all involve the North Cemetery.
Well, we're talking about agenda items. Those weren't on our agenda.
Oh, okay.
Can you stop in and see her at some point and go over them, and we'll get them on the next
I talked to
agenda?
her about it before.
Oh, okay,
Talked to Sandy.
okay.
Okay.
Is something falling apart on us? Okay. Correspondence and town admin report.
I put some of the important correspondence in your packets. The only thing I have, I mean, the agenda today pretty much covered everything I'm doing all week. The key project is nearing completion. So that will be, I'll be reaching out to all of you to pick a PIN number. That in the back of your head. And if there's certain doors that you all use that I might not think of, please let me know, so I can make sure to get you in the system ahead of time. And just today, we received notice that Triple T will be increasing the monthly rate on our compost bins by $22 a piece, so that's $44 that we did not budget in our article, so I'll do a little more research on that to see if you need to ratify overspending something. I don't think you do, but just so you know, that's gonna go up by about $389 for this, or $88 for this budget.
Can we charge them back $44 every time they don't pick up on Thursday?
I don't think so.
So moved.
I'll research that too. So that's all I have.
And they call us at Wednesday and say, "Oh, yeah, we're not gonna be there till Friday." Sorry, love you, Triple T. Correspondence, town admin report. That's it. Upcoming meetings. You all get to see my shining face again tomorrow at 6:30 for our first budget meeting. I know everyone is very, very excited about. BCTV annual members meeting is the following day on September 20th from 6 to 7. Leadership Summit, which our own Chris Parker will be attending on October 1st in Castleton. Town Fair, October 3rd and 4th in South Burlington. Regular meeting of October 2nd and budget meeting of October 3rd. We are adjourned.